Hello and welcome. Today we're diving into something that affects every single workplace, the fascinating and sometimes frustrating link between what people think and what they actually do. It's the fundamental puzzle of human psychology, and cracking it is absolutely key to understanding ourselves and, especially, our teams.
Have you ever just looked at a colleague and thought, why on earth did they do that? It just seems to defy all logic, right? It's a super common frustration, and it almost always comes down to this disconnect between their inner attitude and what you see on the outside, their behavior. And that's exactly the gap we're going to bridge today. And look, if you're a leader, this is the puzzle you're trying to solve every single day. It's not just a management headache. It's one of the core questions in social psychology. How do we make sense of and maybe even predict what people are going to do? Well, the answer starts by breaking down that relationship between our inner world and our actions. To really get to the bottom of this, we have to draw a really clear line in the sand between our thoughts, our attitudes, and our actions, which are our behaviors. Getting a solid grip on this difference is the absolute first step to making sense of it all.
Okay, so let's get on the same page with our terms. An attitude, that's an internal thing. It's a state of readiness that's been built up by everything you've ever experienced. For example, maybe you have a really positive attitude about teamwork. Behavior, on the other hand, is the action. It's you actually jumping in and collaborating on that project. But, and this is the important part, the line between those two isn't always straight.
So, to really get a handle on this, we're launching a 2-day transformation. Think of it as a deep dive journey into what we call behavioral intelligence. It's structured to take you from theory to real-world impact. On day 1, it's all about building that rock-solid foundation. We're going to dive deep into the fundamental theories. This is where we get into the psychological mechanics that really drive our actions. We're moving way beyond just assumptions and getting into the real science behind the why.
And we're going to master some seriously powerful frameworks. For instance, the ABC model breaks attitudes into 3 parts. Affective, your feelings; behavioral, what you plan to do; and cognitive, what you believe. Then you've got the theory of reasoned action, which says our intentions, shaped by our attitudes and what we think others expect, drive our behavior. Building on that, the theory of planned behavior adds perceived control, which is basically whether we believe we can actually do the thing. And finally, social learning theory, which reminds us that, hey, we learn a lot just by watching other people.
All right, so once we've got that foundation locked in, we move on to day 2. This is where we build your strategy. The big question here is, how do we take all this amazing theory and actually apply it? This is all about using these models to analyze what's happening in the real world.
This is where it gets really exciting. Using these tools, you can start to dissect why a certain behavior is happening. You can analyze everything from individual attitudes to social pressures. And then, this is the game changer. You can start to figure out how to encourage positive change. This is where theory becomes action. And this really lays out the entire journey for you at a glance. You see, on day 1, you've got the foundation, the fundamentals, the structure of attitudes, those key theories we talked about. Then, on day 2, you've got the strategy, how you use that knowledge to analyze behavior, predict intentions, and actually plan organizational change. It's a powerful 1-2 punch.
So, what's the big takeaway here? What do you get out of all this? Well, it's about elevating yourself. It's about going from just being a manager who observes what's happening to becoming a truly influential leader who understands the complex psychological drivers behind what's happening.
So after this program, you'll walk away with some incredible skills. You'll be able to truly understand that complex relationship between what people think and do. You'll even be able to apply these concepts in your own work. And you know what? It also acts like a mirror, giving you some really deep insights into your own attitudes and behaviors.
And look, this isn't just about academic theory. The real value is in the application. As this quote points out, the final module is all practical. The goal is for you to be able to apply what you've learned and actually plan for successful change, whether that's for yourself or for your whole team.
So you might be wondering, okay, this sounds great, but is it really for me? Let's talk about who can really benefit from this kind of deep psychological insight. Honestly, whether you're a first-line supervisor, in middle management, or part of the senior leadership team, these principles are universal. In fact, it's for anyone at any level whose success depends on working effectively with other people. If you deal with and manage people, this is for you. It's really about moving past simple observation, beyond just guessing why people do what they do.
It's about developing a deeper understanding that lets you interact with more precision, more empathy, and more impact. It's time to stop guessing and start leading with real behavioral intelligence. So, I'll leave you with this one question. Now that you've had a peek into the frameworks that connect what we think to what we do, are you ready to be the one who can apply that insight to lead real, positive, strategic change in your world?